This episode of the Aussie Bagger Show is proudly brought to you by N1 Cornhole Gear. N1 are the leaders in cornhole bags, boards, and tournament accessories. If you want to take your game to the next level, head over to iplayaca.com.au and use the code Aussie to save yourself 10% at checkout. Show, your one-stop podcast for all things cornhole down under. We're here to deep dive into the world of cornhole, and we're bringing you some fair dinkum content about this legendary backyard game that's taken the world by storm. It's been a while. Dan and I have been very much caught up in our own personal lives, but today we are coming back and we are going to discuss the upcoming New South Wales ACL. We're going to have a deep dive with the co-directors, and our intention is to give you guys as much information and general chit chat around what to expect and, you know, the kind of event we're hoping to put on for all of you cornhole fans and you new cornhole fans. So again, welcome back. Thanks for, bearing with us in this delay in putting episodes out. And yeah, quite a while between drinks. So I'll hand over for Dan to say hello, and then we'll have a chat with Paul as well.
Thanks, LB, and love that ChatGPT intro there, mate. One of my favourites, listening to that. So I'll start off there by saying we are three of us, Liam, myself, and also Paul Clark. Welcome, Paul, from the Inner West Cornhole League. He will be part of the team that will be co-directing the first ever ACL Australia Open in Warilla. So it'll be the second ACL Australia Open, but the first in Warilla Bowls and Recreation Club, which is about 20 minutes south of Wollongong in New South Wales. So in a little bit of time, we will just chat through, I guess, the event specifics in terms of, when, the costs, the tournament formats, how many people we're expecting, who can play, and go through all of that. But Paul, did you want to give yourself a little bit of an intro as to who you are, how you got into the sport, and where you spend most of your time playing cornhole?
Thanks. Yeah, mostly in the backyard these days. Yeah, I've been playing about 10 plus years. My good friend Ryan actually made me my first set of boards. Still got them, still going strong. And his wife, Erin, actually made and hand sewed the bags with feed corn in them. They lasted a good solid probably 7 years or so before before a rat got into the bags and tore them all to pieces. And that's when I got in touch. That's when I got in touch and got my first set of professionally made bags, actually, through ACA. And at that point, we were just playing in the backyard anytime we had a barbecue and stuff. Until then, Scotty and Tim started up the Inner West League, it's been amazing fun, actually. I really enjoy playing every couple of weeks there in White Bay. It's a good venue, there's lots of space, there's some nice beer on tap as well, and they're good guys to hang out with. We get to hang out with friends, meet new people, throw some bags, and I guess we were doing that since February 23, and then got a bit hooked into it, and then signed up for the first ACL Open, and we kind of rocked up with my ACA bags thinking I had some really posh bags, and then realized there was a whole new world, a whole lot of more levels to the game than I had any idea about. So it's a real eye-opening experience. And from then, it's been really kind of inspirational. I've loved playing the game. I've played more with, Inner West League and come down to play with you guys at Illawarra as well, which has been good fun. And so, just happy to be on board and help where I can to get things going for the next event.
And Paul, I actually remember, and it's funny now watching you, how good you are as a player. I might be biased, but I would say you're probably in the top 5, I would have to say, in terms of cornhole players in Australia. But I remember one of the ACA virtual events that I ran, and I'm pretty sure you were throwing in the backyard and maybe getting 1-2 bags on the board per round, and that was maybe 21 or 22, and now here you are smashing all of us, and probably one of the favourites, without putting the mocker on you for the upcoming ACL Australia Open.
Put it on him.
I remember that event I was partnered with. I think it was a Canadian guy. I can't remember his name, and he was just getting 100 over 10 rounds, and there was me struggling to get 40 over 10 rounds. I felt really bad, but that's where I was at the time.
We've all been there though, right? And that's why the game is so good, because everyone starts out they're just trying to get it on the board, and that's it. And it's funny, when you do get that passion and the addiction kicks in, and you start throwing more and more bags, you can pick it up, and obviously the game does get more entertaining and more enjoyable as you get to the more strategic side of it. But all right, do we want to have a quick chat just around the event itself, when it is, where? What do you reckon, LB? What do we?
But before we get into the details, I just want to, I guess, follow on from one of Paul's earlier points about, getting a set of bags and thinking they're the bee's knees, and then realizing, how much further, it can extend. And I think this is what's really good about cornhole, is you can take it as far as you want it, or you can leave it exactly where you want it. There's no pressure. So I guess on that front, I want to, really say, if you're unsure about playing, if you think it's going to be all these really good players, and we are expecting quite a few good players to be there, I just want to reiterate that it doesn't matter your level. It doesn't matter, your sort of predetermined bag that you think you might like, as long as your bag complies with what it needs to, and we'll go into more details about that later. But I think that, this game's for anyone. It doesn't matter how you throw or the quality you're throwing. Paul, throwing maybe 40 over 10 rounds for the virtual, and this Canadian throwing 100. This game is just inclusive, and, there's many different levels. We just want to get everyone involved. And I don't think you need to stress about, being the best or having to face good people, because, you get slotted in. So, yeah, I think everyone should just, don't stress about it. Come in, have some fun, have a beer, chat with your friends, and, meet new people and have a good time, because that's what cornhole is all about.
Yeah, I think you see that anywhere. Any sort of new sport or club, you're not really sure what to expect. Is everyone gonna, be super serious? I see it all the time. Obviously, running the weekly Illawarra League, and people turn up and they're sort of a little bit skittish and not sure whether they should play or not. And then by the time they throw a few bags, they see everyone having a good time, not taking it very serious, and I think the reason the game is so popular is due to just the social nature of the sport. And I call it a sport, but yeah, depending on the context, it could be considered a sport or a backyard game. But yeah, I think that's part of the appeal. And yeah, definitely, although it has a fancy event name, ACL Australia Open, it sounds quite formal and serious. It's definitely not. And we'll chat about the tournament format and how that caters to different skill levels. But it's a good shout out there, LB. In terms of, where the event is being held, so the Warilla Bowls and Recreation Club, which is in Barrack Heights, so I'm not sure why they call it Warilla, but it is a fantastic club nonetheless, and it's about a 20-minute drive from Wollongong, which is very convenient for LB and myself. We'll make transporting boards and bags and score towers and pitch mats a little bit easier compared to lugging that all the way up to Tweed Heads, as much as we love Club Tweed, and we certainly hope to be back there later next year. But yeah, Warilla Bowls and Recreation Club, it's a great spot, really close to the water. There's a whole bunch of sort of coastal accommodation around, so you've got your sort of typical Airbnbs and hotels, but then you've also got, your caravan parks and all of that sort of available to you, just because it is such a holiday destination. So that's fantastic that we're able to secure the Warilla Bowls Club as a venue. And for those of you that aren't aware, they do have a state-of-the-art indoor bowls facility, which they've kindly allowed us to use for the event, which will be held on Saturday the 8th and Sunday the 9th of February next year. So yeah, we'll have, much like we did in Club Tweed for the ACL Australia Open last year, we're going to have access to that indoor bowls green to be able to set up 16 courts. We'll have a few dedicated to just the local members of the Warilla Club, just for a bit of social play and more learning about the game and how to throw, and there'll be some coaching going on. And then we'll have, obviously, the majority of the courts for the actual tournament itself. Paul, did you, or LB, did you want to chat a little bit about the different tournaments that will be running over those 2 days, and how each of those tournaments differ?
You can take this one, Paul.
Okay. Well, yeah, so thank you. Jumping straight in on the first day, will be doubles up first up, right? I hope I haven't got that wrong now.
Yep.
But yeah, so
we got doubles kicking off at about 10 a.m, I believe.
Exactly right. So 10 a.m. doubles partners will be drawn out. We'll go through the I think it's called progressive round robin. So the partners will be picked at random for the first round of 4 round robin rounds, and then from round 2 onwards, you get partnered up with teams with a similar record to you. So it's a format that tries to kind of help level people out in terms of skill levels, and I think it kind of does a good job from my sort of small experience I've got playing in that format. And then from there we go. Sorry.
Oh, so I was just going to say, so everyone will, the partners that you play with for that particular tournament will be predetermined. So you'll figure that out. And if you are searching for a partner to play, please do reach out to us, and we'll add our contact details at the end of the show. But yes, you'll basically bring your own partner, so to speak. But then you'll, as Paul said, be randomly assigned an opposing team for the first match. And then with the rounders format, which we'll have, you'll basically get allocated your second, third, and fourth round robin match based on your win-loss record. So if you happen to win your first match, you'll get teamed up against another team that's also won their first match in the round 2. If you go 2-0, then you'll end up playing against another team that's gone 2-0 in the third round, etc., etc. So. And we talk about, obviously, the inclusivity and making sure that the matches aren't too lopsided. You'll basically be eventually playing against people of a similar ability, so the games should theoretically be really close and competitive. And then after those 4 round robin matches, you'll then get placed into a tier. So we'll have tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. So depending on how well you perform, if you won all your matches, or close to winning all of them, you'll likely end up in tier 1. For those that win maybe 1 or 2 matches, they'll get put in tier 2. And for those that didn't go as well in that round robin format, you'll get placed into tier 3. So again, you'll be playing in a double elimination bracket or finals bracket against people of similar ability. So yeah, sorry to steal your thunder there, Paul, but I think
that's all good. You did a great job.
I managed to. So yeah, we'll kick off on the doubles, and then we've got the Crew Cup.
That's it. That's probably the format I'm kind of really excited to get involved in. It brings a real team element into the game, although you end up, I guess, having a shorter involvement slightly in the actual matches themselves. I'm really excited about seeing how people kind of form their teams. We've kind of gone for a state kind of format for those teams, so everybody from a similar state or the same state can join together as a team of 4. And again, we'll go through a similar format in which we go through rounders and then double elimination as well afterwards. But I think it's this kind of exciting element for people to get together with either their league teammates or just people they know from the state, maybe playing a different league close by. And I think it can be quite a big, from what I've seen they've done it in the US, it's been quite a bit of a raucous atmosphere. There's a few more people involved. We'll do it towards the end of the day on the Saturday, and I think that's going to be a great time for everyone to kind of really get involved and shout out for their teams.
Yeah, there's definitely some bragging rights on the line. I think State of Origin comes to mind when I think of the State Crew Cup event. So yeah, as you said, 4 round robin matches, and then I think we're going to do, just based on time, a single elimination. So double elimination, you can lose your first match and still make it through to the championship final. When it comes to a single elimination, as you know, once you lose, you're out. So yeah, no, I've seen plenty of footage on the ACL, and for those who don't know what the ACL actually stands for, it's the American Cornhole League. I've seen a lot of their Crew Cup events. I think, what's that big one they do every year? Spencer McKenzie's. I think they do that in LA, and it looks awesome. You've obviously got 4 players in a team, so that Crew Cup is 4 players, all from the same state, in our case. And so you'll have two players in the team down one end, the other 2 players down in the other. Player 1 will throw the first and third bag. Player number 2 will throw the second and fourth bag. So it's going to be interesting, and maybe it will take a little while to get used to, because it's the first time I think anyone in Australia has run that Crew Cup style event that I'm aware of. But certainly will be the most fun and well-timed, and I'm sure people will have had a few beverages by the time the Crew Cup rolls around. So will be interesting to see how that unfolds and how people pull up for day 2, which will be the singles. So LB, did you want to chat a bit about the singles and what your experience was like playing singles at the ACL Australia Open at Tweed Heads?
I think singles is probably one of my favourite events because it's just down to you. But I also know that my experience with singles last time was I got too drunk the day before and was extremely hungover. So
Same
this
for
time
everybody,
around,
I
you'll
think.
learn your lesson.
we'll see if I've learned my lesson. But you know what? I'm a guy that likes to touch the fireplace twice before I realise that it's actually pretty hot.
Hey,
So
just thinking of sponsors, which we are more than welcome to entertain. Maybe Barocca. We should reach out to Barocca and see if they're keen.
Yeah,
that's a good one. That's a
that's
good
an early
one.
morning
Just
shout.
putting that out there, thinking out loud.
Hi,
Barocca, if
July.
you're listening, we're open to a bit of sponsorship. Cash.
Yes, definitely. But yeah, no, so singles, very similar to the doubles sort of format. So we'll have that initial 4 rounders just to get their placements. You know, hopefully it's not one of those things where, you know, you've got a finals match where you've got Mickey or Paul or, you know, anyone like that you come up against and, you know, those tier 1 sort of throwers, and you can still make that top level. But it's one of those things where you just have to be on the whole time. You know, even in your rounders, you're going to come across some great players. You're going to come across some new players you haven't, you know, played before. And being as that we've had one ACL event in Australia so far, I think that hopefully, and we might have a mystery cornholer that nobody's met before that can absolutely wipe the floor with us. Hopefully we can get a few States people as well. You know, we just don't know what's going to happen. And, you know, shout out to all the guys that came out previously. I will keep pestering you on Facebook.
I've seen you hassling all the.
And maybe, or I'll
Americans
get
and
back to
Canadians.
you. And maybe, or I'll get back to you is a yes in my book, and
Look,
a
there's
no
worse places
is
to
a
travel
yes in my book.
for a cornhole tournament. I'll say that.
Definitely.
But,
So
I will
look,
say
singles will be Sunday, so don't get too drunk.
I've had people reach out to me from the Indian Cornhole Federation and also the Moroccan Cornhole Federation. So, as you said, I think, you know, we have in our minds who we think is going to turn up and who is going to potentially, you know, maybe win that tier 1 event. But I'm hoping that we see some kind of just random smoky that no one even knew was going to turn up, and they give it a real hot crack and surprise everyone. Of course, for the majority of us, it'll be fighting it out in the tier 2 or tier 3, which is still, you know, scratches that competitive itch, but will be slightly, you know, less serious for those of you who want to have and have a little bit more fun throughout the day. But yes, we've left the singles for day 2, so again, you'll have to be strategic in terms of how many beverages you consume in day 1, what time you go to bed. There'll be I'm very we might have to have a camera following you around just to get a take throughout day 1 as to how you're feeling, and day 2. But I know if anyone's going to back up, it's going to be you, buddy. So
we'll see what happens. I get a little excited sometimes. That's what I'm going to say.
There was quite a few late nights that Friday night in Tweed, from what I recall. Even on the Saturday mornings, a few sore heads and bleary eyes.
I think
2 days.
the 2 a.m. bedtime for me.
I was a shell of a man for the few days after.
Even just playing that much,
that was like a 3-day event, as opposed to this one's a little bit shorter, being 2 days. Definitely take the Monday off if you can, or the Friday, just to get yourself prepared. But I think I should say as well, though, in terms of the venue. So as I mentioned, first class venue. You know, any beer or wine or spirit you can think of, it's available. So they've got, you know, a number of great sort of different bars and also a couple of different food options. So they've got a great restaurant and bistro. They've also got close to where the indoor bowls facility is, like a wood fire pizza and like an outdoor area where we'll be able to have the UFC on. But also they've got 2 different playgrounds. So if you're thinking of bringing your family along, or your wife and kids want to tag along, there's going to be plenty of, you know, things for them to do as well. So it's not, or I should say husband as well, if we know we've got a few very competitive female players as well who might want to drag their partners along. So I think it's not one of these things where you just go by yourself, and it'll definitely be something that you can do as a family and turn it into a bit of a mini holiday. So a great facility, and very excited to be able to throw there, and hopefully we put on a good showing and behave ourselves so that we're welcome back in 2026. But
the cornhole community, you know, I mean, I speak for myself here, I guess, but we love a beer, but everyone's always just the nicest people. So
Respectful.
Don't respectful, always happy to help, always happy to teach everything they know, and really bring everyone in. So don't be afraid or worried, anything like that. You won't find any animosity there. It's just everyone having a bit of fun, getting competitive if they want. Some people don't, and you'll fit right in with everyone there. So I think that's a big thing to note as well. Yeah. And on that, we do have a Facebook page for the ACL event, and what we're going to do is we're going to try and set up, whether it's just a post or some form of place that everyone can come together and, ask if someone's looking for a doubles partner, or, if they're wanting to put together a crew cup team as well. And so get the community really involved, get everyone talking amongst each other, and really try and generate some intermingling and make sure that everyone can play in all the events that they want to. So you don't just have to sign up to the singles if you're just going by yourself. There are bound to be other people, and all three of us will play an active part in trying to put people together. So if you're looking for a teammate, if you're looking for a crew cup, we'll be able to find something. There will always be other people looking as well.
And there's a whole bunch of different cornhole leagues throughout Australia now, so we can put you in touch with the local director of that league, and they can probably find you a couple of teammates for the crew cup or a doubles partner. I think, reach out to us. Spots will be limited, so we can't make it an unlimited tournament, unfortunately. So if you are thinking of playing, register sooner rather than later. I will say that.
There was one person looking for a partner. I think she heard what we were talking about there. No, I know.
Yeah. No, I was thinking maybe. Look, I don't want to bore the listeners.
I'll cut it out.
Listeners with this, but a Google sheet maybe that we can people can edit and put their name down either on a doubles list, so looking for a doubles partner or looking for a crew cup partner in their relevant state, and see how that goes, and then get the team at ACL to share that on the ACL Australia Facebook page. So definitely, if you do nothing else, follow the ACL Australia Facebook page, because that is where all the tournament updates are happening. And you'll also find a link on the ACL Australia Facebook page to the full event page. So the ACL have a website with all the event details, the costs, details around the format of all the tournaments, and all the rest of it. So that should be your first or your next click after watching this, if you've stayed around this long to watch us. So to finish off, I thought it would be a good idea for us to reminisce on the first ever ACL Australia Open, which was held in Club Tweed back in December last year. And kind of pick out, I know there was many memorable moments, but I guess we could all just go through our maybe top three, or even just your favorite, most memorable moment for the tournament.
I'll kick off. I think it might have been probably my favorite memory, and it wasn't playing in the Pro-Am. It wasn't that final moment. That was probably second, but I think it was when I was playing the doubles that afternoon on the Saturday, and I was playing with my teammate, and I was playing really badly, and I just wasn't feeling it, bit stressed, don't know what was going on. And I just remember that for me, like, the best part about cornhole is just when I'm laughing and not stressing and not worrying about how I play. And I just started smiling, and I just forced myself to smile, and back started going. And then it was like, why do I need to take this seriously? I could just have fun and the bags would start to fly. I think for me, that was probably my favorite memory, just because it was that, why am I stressing? This is fun. That's it. And so from then on, I just was like, just have fun, throw some bags. So I think that's definitely my favorite. And then following up, having the first shoey on ACL replay. that's definitely up there.
Live on the internet.
Don't really remember doing it. All I remember is someone chanting, "Do a shoey," and then next minute I'm pouring beer down my throat out of my shoe. But
and I've seen a whole bunch of videos since then of shoeys. I've seen some being done in like Crocs and like sandals.
Slides.
So I must have missed a fair bit. I must have been busy doing something else. I've seen a couple, but yeah, all these videos have been surfacing, and maybe they'll start resurfacing around February. But
Hopefully.
yeah, I'm sure it won't be the last shoey that we see at a tournament. For me,
I doubt it.
look, it was an interesting one because for so long in the lead up to that event, everything had kind of been like virtual. So I kind of found the game, and as a lot of people did around COVID, and the American Cornhole League was playing on ESPN, so a lot of people, when everything else had stopped, cornhole was like the only sport that you could actually participate in or watch on TV. So I think a lot of people discovered the game around that time, and there was a lot of friendships developed, but it was all sort of virtual and via Facebook and virtual tournaments. So for me, the actual first day of setting it up, so when we were setting up all the courts, got to meet some of the guys from the American Cornhole League for the first time in person who flew over. Also, just meeting some of the the Queensland and Victorian players that turned up, and literally just setting up and just having a yarn with them was really special moment for me. But also just seeing it turn from like a blank bowls green to having a grandstand and the cameras set up and the Versa court for the featured court that we had, which we'll have again in Feb. So for me, that was definitely memorable, and also watching ULB hold your nerve to take down the Pro-Am and a tidy sum of money as well, mate. That was very enjoyable to watch. Fortunately, I made a bit of an earlier exit of that tournament, but great to see a fellow Illawarra player get the chockies on that one. So well done, mate.
And New South Wales as a whole. Victoria.
Put that in there, for sure.
Yeah.
Paulie, how about you, mate?
Yeah,
Anything stood out for you?
On Liam's point, I think there was a lot of moments where I kind of just thought, look, just take a second, realize what you're doing. You're having fun. You're hanging out. You get to hang out with your friends, meet new people, play this game, and we got to do it for a whole weekend. So it's kind of like this is just great fun. I just want to soak up every moment and enjoy it. In terms of playing, like I've got to say, I got to play against Liam. I was partnered with Bobby Sperry, the ACL Pro. I was quite happy with how I played in the end. Some good shots, some bad shots, but it was such an experience playing in front of everybody. The crowd were awesome. Like it was that Saturday night. It was pretty epic time. And so, that'll stick with me for a long time. And then I think there's just watching Mark Richards and Tony Smith go at it in the singles final was pretty amazing. Just seeing and we had Bobby Sperry behind us as well. He was kind of giving his own commentary, which was really kind of eye-opening for me. It was a really cool insight into how he was thinking about the game and what all the names of shots that they were going to attempt or what they were considering. And then I think it was Mark hit a bar of soap to win, and I just never seen it before. I was like, wow, and it was right in front of me, and he just smashed it, and it was such an epic moment to watch, to witness a game like that with two guys at the top of the game. That was pretty special.
Yeah, so we had the number 1 and number 2 player in the world at the time battling it out, and not only that, but it was one of the most epic matches of all time, not just in Australia, but it was I was chatting to it about with a few people afterwards about how lucky we were to actually witness that, and even some of the people that were watching the live stream from overseas were like, it's crazy to not only see those two go head to head, because normally when they're playing against a massive long list of other pro players, so for them to actually play against each other is quite rare. But considering they were head and shoulders above everyone else at that tournament, they ended up meeting each other in that tier 1 singles final, and some of those shots. So if you haven't had a chance to watch it, jump on the ACL Australia Facebook page or YouTube and see if you can find that match, because that was insane.
I stood there with my jaw hanging down the whole time, just in absolute awe. Just to me, what was a hard cut shot, they're just doing instinctively. The bag's just moving on this board, and then to finish with the bar of soap, it was just, it was inspiring.
I think they had 11.5 PPR during the whole game as well, or something. They were just hitting everything.
Casually topping up their beers as they walk from end to end. I think at one point, it was real tense, right? It was 1920 or something like that, and the crowd is dead silent, and then all you can hear in the background was the club tweed kind of like 80s music playing. Like it was some ridiculous song. And yeah, that sort of broke the ice a bit.
Yeah.
Mark Richards just like couldn't help. He was trying to stay focused, but he couldn't help it. Just burst out laughing at whatever song was playing. I forget what it was. I'm gonna have to go back and watch
Yeah, I can't remember now.
But that was a classic. All right, well, there you have it. We are back. The Aussie Bagger Show is back due to popular demand. The ACL Australia Open is back, also due to popular demand. Very much looking forward to working with you fellas to make that a reality. And yeah, less than 2 months away. So as I said, those registration spots for the singles, doubles, and crew cup is limited. So if you are thinking of playing, don't be caught out like I do and leave things to the last minute and be kicking yourself. If you do have any questions about the event, please reach out to any one of us. Happy to chat. And yeah, follow the ACL Australia page for event details. Anything else, fellas? Anything I've missed?
I think that about covers it. Just want to say that, everyone have a happy, safe holiday. Make sure you get the family around some cornhole on Christmas Day. And, don't go easy on grandma.
No
You
prisoners.
no prisoners. No prisoners. But yeah, look forward to seeing you all, and I really hope that we get some of those Perth boys over, and Queenslanders and Victorians. Let's get in and let's have a really good competition, and let's get some ACL points going.
Go New South
Sounds
Wales.
good. Looking forward to it, guys.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.